Stay with us here on The Pulse. Well, this afternoon, government has endorsed the Bawku mediation report presented by the Asantehene Otumfuo II and ordered the immediate return of rival chief Alhaji Saidu Abagri to Nalerugu under the authority of the Nairi. In an official statement issued on Wednesday, December 17, and signed by the spokesperson to the President, Felix Kwakye Ofosu, the government said it has accepted all the recommendations contained in the report, which was presented a day earlier, and reaffirmed the court's ruling on the rightful overlord of Bawku. Now, according to the statement, the report offers a comprehensive fact-based and forward-looking roadmap towards achieving lasting peace in a conflict-prone area. We will bring you details of that statement shortly. First, let's listen to the Asantehene Otumfuo II as he highlights some of the key recommendations and findings of that report.
The final resolution of the Bawku matters requires that Mr. Saidu Abagri be recalled to Nalerugu by the Nairi to be reassigned to play another traditional role at the palace of the Nairi, assisted by the state. Alternatively, he may choose to stay in Bawku as an ordinary citizen of the community, but not to pose as Bawku Naba. The final recommendation, Mr. President, I recommend that my brother, the Nairi, accepts the laws as presently constituting Sigri Abugrabu Azoka as the chief of Bawku and head chief of the Kusasi traditional area. We chiefs, no matter how exalted, do not live above the Constitution of Ghana and the laws duly enacted and affirmed by the courts. Accordingly, the laws which recognizes Asigri Abugragu Azoka must be enforced by the government of the Republic of Ghana until change in accordance with the 1992 Constitution or review by the Supreme Court of Ghana.
Well, as part of his recommendations, Otumfuo II also urged government to take a firm decision and decisive approach to the reconciliation process to ensure lasting peace in the area.
The government must enforce the laws and deal sternly with any person challenging the lawful authority of Abugra Asoga. This is critical to the restoration and maintenance of peace in Kusasi traditional area. I wish to thank you, Mr. President, and your predecessor for reposing such confidence in me and tasking me with the mediation of this conflict with a view to finding a lasting solution. I also want to thank the Nairi and the Bawku Naba for their efforts relative to this mediation process. The various chiefs or heads of various communities whom I met in the area who also participated in this endeavor deserve positive commendation.
Well, true to the President's assurance, and less than 24 hours after the report was presented, government has officially made its position clear, formally endorsing the Bawku mediation report submitted by the Asantehene Otumfuo II. And that detail of that statement is coming up on your screens. Let me just walk you through it, some of the key findings in that report that the President today endorsed. It reads that government of the Republic of Ghana has received, carefully reviewed and deliberated upon the Bawku conflict mediation report presented by His Majesty Otumfuo II, the Asantehene, on the 16th of December 2025. In keeping with its unwavering commitment to peace, constitutional order, the rule of law and national cohesion, the government hereby formally states its position on the findings and recommendations of the mediation report as follows. The government fully endorses and accepts all the findings and recommendations contained in the mediation report. The report constitutes a comprehensive, fact-based and forward-looking roadmap aimed exclusively at achieving lasting peace, reconciliation and stability in Bawku and its surrounding areas. It is not intended to apportion blame or confer victory on any party. In particular, the government affirms the unequivocal position of the law as consistently upheld by the Supreme Court of Ghana that Naba Asagri Abugragu Azoka II is a lawful Bawku Naba, and that no individual or group is permitted under any circumstances to contest his authority or legitimacy. It goes on to state that government accepts the recommendation that Alhaji Saidu Abagri, who was installed as a rival claimant to the Bawku chieftaincy, be recalled to Nalerugu by the overlord of Mamprungu and the Nayiri to assume an alternative traditional role with the necessary facilitation and support of the state. Goes on to state that pursuant to this recommendation by His Majesty Otunfor II, the government will immediately facilitate the safe movement of Alhaji Saidu Abagri to Nalerugu, where he shall remain available to receive the directives of the Nayiri. And then, government further respectfully requests His Majesty Otunfor II to continue to lend his distinguished leadership and moral authority to subsequent reconciliation efforts aimed at ensuring that they foster peace and harmonious coexistence between Mamprusi as well as the Kusasi community. So that's the statement that government put out today. Now, we will be going to the region shortly to speak to my colleague Albert Sori, who is on the ground. Now, he has been engaging residents who have been reacting to this statement put out by government, just reaffirming that it is indeed supporting and endorsing the report that the Asantehene put forward. Albert Sori joins us live now from that area. Albert, so far you have been engaging residents. Let's start with their reaction.
We have seen that some residents of Bawku yesterday, after the Asantehene made the presentation, were excited about the information that he gave. Even though we know that curfew is still in place from 8 p.m. To 5 a.m. every day. Around 7 p.m. when you expect people to be indoors usually. Yesterday there were some people who were riding motorbikes and, excited about the outcome of the presentation that the Asantehene made. We also know that security have been on the ground. Ahead of the presentation yesterday, we know of the high security presence. There were some new checkpoints along various entry points into the Bawku township, and a lot of security presence in the town itself. Lots of military and police patrol. And there were some fears also that anything that happened because of volatile towns itself. And so people were worried that there could be shootings or some sort of attack. Some people do not agree with the outcome of the mediation, but nothing of the sort happened. It's been very quiet in Bawku for the most part of yesterday, and also today we haven't heard of any sort of disturbance or any disturbing issue at all.
And then you also reported earlier an incident in Bawku that is separate from this. What exactly happened?
Well, this morning we heard about a bus that was attacked in the northeast region in Wali Wali. We do not know for sure if this is related to the mediation process. People feel that it could be, but we do not have any evidence that it is. What we know is that the bus was attacked and some 2 people we are told have been critically injured. But the details as to why the bus was attacked and every other thing related to it is still being investigated by security agencies. So this is all we know for now.
Thank you so much, Albert, for just bringing us that update all the way from Bawku.